Hey there and welcome back, and oh my god, it's finally here. Here it is. The Dapol Black Label A4. I'm not going to delay too much. Let's get down onto the desk, but what I will do first is I'll just take the cover off, because this is like a presentation model. It's not just like a in the box. Here it is. You get your instructions with the decoder instructions inside, what function does what. You obviously get your nice thick piece, and look at that. How fantastic is that laid out? You've got the Locomotive at the top, the tender. You've then got your two little bottles of smoke oil. Now one of them is low odor, one of them is not. So you know, if you're using this say outside or in a, it does say make sure that you use this in a well ventilated space because of the amount of smoke what it gives off, because it is oil, it's not water like the Hornby ones. But check this out, to help pop in smoke oil you even get a little funnel. And there are so many things about this Locomotive that I absolutely love and that I wish other manufacturers would bring back. So right, on the desk, let's have a look at this. This, guys, is a good one. Right, so here we have the main part, obviously, and you've seen a little wiggle there. I am going to point this out in just a minute. But first off, I got this in Merlin. I got this in the experimental purple, and I absolutely love this colour. I think it's so fantastic the way it's been done. And yeah, I've not got this on the little turntable a bit properly. I'm going to move and slide this around, so you're going to hear some like noises, so I do apologise. But, and yes, I am going to handle this one a bit more because I want to try and show you, or make sure that I show you absolutely everything. So let's pop this to one side. Let's bring obviously what you want to see back into shot, and let's start with the front. So on the front we do have springy buffers. We have, now I need a little, that should do it. We have a actual metal chain link coupling already fitted to the front. Now looking at the front, here you have I do apologise, my hay fever's going haywire at the minute, so if I'm coughing if I'm coughing or you see me squinting or sniffing a little, I'll try my best to take it out, but I can't help all of it, so I do apologise. But yeah, on the front we have working lamps, and these lights are working directional lights as well. Obviously when it's going forward, these are white. When it's in reverse, then these cut out. There isn't a red light on the back of this, but that doesn't matter because, as you know, or as shown you were, typically this Locomotive will run forwards, obviously because of the streamlining. So it kind of negates the need to have one at the back, because you know, a little portable one would just get popped on there. So we've got a crystal clear number. We've got another lamp iron up here. We have our whistle. The whistle isn't metal, but I tell you what, that finish looks just as good as metal. And we turn this round to the side, and as instructed, and you can feel it just by grabbing hold, the whole of this thing is metal. It is die cast. Absolutely wonderful. I think this part here, the outer casing of this is plastic, but the actual mainstay of it, the chassis, it is all full metal. And to get all the detail into a cast piece of metal like this is fantastic. For those who like to count them, there's plenty of riveting all around the side, all along the top. It's been wonderfully picked out. The lining that goes and follows the running board, I think this is, you'll have to forgive me, has been impeccably done. The actual running gear itself, you can look at how fantastically finished that has been done. You know, you just can't tell like any marks, any seams, any lines. It is so incredible. You go underneath, the brake rigging is already fitted. You've got a great amount of detail underneath. And if you go towards the front here, you will see a little off and on button. Now, the off and on button is important because if you look in the manual, and I haven't tried it yet as it's not something that I wish to try at the minute, but it says that this, and this is another great fantastic feature, this will run on DC. Now it says you turn that little button off, so it cuts out or switches off the working capability of the smoke generator, and you will get some noises, some bells and whistles as it's moving along. And you know what? That is fantastic, because if someone, say, is really after one of these, they don't yet have a digital track or digital capability, you can still get one, you can still run it on a analog track, and then when you upgrade it you can then enjoy the full capabilities of this, which is just incredible. So going around the side, we've got these are plastic as well, but with the way that they are done, it takes nothing away from this train whatsoever. The rest of the detail, the nameplates, picking out some of the extra pipes, the logo on the side is impeccable. As you see on the top, you've got all the riveting running right down the centre, so you can't see any seam line on this. You've got what appear to be metal whistles fitted in the top. You have got all of your roof vents that slide open and close, which is fantastic. You've got your cover between the loco and the tender. This is like a little bit of it's a rubber texture to it, and I'm assuming that this would be more, you know, like a rigid canopy. So the way this has been done is brilliant, because you've got that bend as it's moving, which allows it, you know, it's not going to get damaged, and it looks fantastic as well. As you can see on the back, we've got fully glazed windows. We've got beautiful lining around the side. We've got all the grab handles fitted separately. And then this, I love this. I want to see this come back into more models. And I will tell you, in my opinion, why. So on the back, you have a fully pivoting bogie. Now, I understand, I appreciate why manufacturers have this locked into place. Yes, it does look more realistic, it does look more typical, but with these wheels then turn into like a non-used like floating axle which hovers above the railway. Now, two things. One, it's not been too bad, but I've had experience where it's caught and it's kept throwing a train off the track because they've been sat too low. And also, instead of having all of this section as being rigid, if this is allowed to move even just a small amount like this, then it gives the loco much more maneuverability. So if you're going around, say, your radius 2 curves, it will actually help it in getting around the curves. And not being funny, but when I look at this going round, this bit moving around, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me one bit. I'm not staring at this bit moving around, I'm looking at the whole thing in general. Or in my case, I'm watching these go round because that's my thing. But yeah, so this is absolutely fantastic, and I love that this is back. Now, oh my goodness, yeah, this may be a long one, guys, so you will have to bear with me. So what I'm going to do, just a quick pause and let's come back. Whoops, quick battery change. So let's have a look at the back. That was actually quite quick then. People have probably gone, oh. So let's rest this up here so you can get a good look at the cab. Now let's zoom right in and look at the amount of detail in there. All the pipes are picked out. You've got the seats, which are really wonderfully fitted. You've got all of your dials. Let me have a quick look. Okay, yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything inside the dials, which I know some manufacturers do. But yeah, that doesn't take anything away from it. When it's going around the track, you're not looking at the dials, but the rest of it you could quite see from the side. And also with this, looking at the center, this does have a firebox glow to it. So that is absolutely fantastic. And with this firebox glow, it works in line with the coal shoveling. So that is brilliant too. We've got Dapol's fantastic connector here, which I absolutely love how they've done that. So let's just set this back down, and then let's have a look at the other side. And again, everything on this side is just as fantastic. And you've even got, if I am right, this here, this is for your speed controller for in the cab. And you've even got that fitted to this model, and it looks incredible. I mean, look at the finish and how this has been done. It is fantastic. So I think that is about everything to do with the front part of the Loco. Now let's get, oh, and also as well, it picks up on all of the wheels here. So it doesn't pick up on these, but it picks up on every single driving axle. And yeah, again, I just love this. I love that this is back in. I love that you have the option of this. This is absolutely wonderful. So yeah, thank you Dapol for designing that into this Locomotive. In my opinion, an absolute cracking feature that you've put in there. So let's get the tender and let's have a look at that. We'll just leave that one there for a minute and let's bring the tender in. Now, the tender looks absolutely fantastic. You've got the amazing lining. You've got the really nice decoration on the side. And as I do this with the camera, you see the lights. The way that this has been painted, I know this may sound a bit silly to say, but I really like the way this has been painted. This to me looks more realistic than, you know, the plastic models. I know that this, yes, this is die cast, but it really does make the difference and shows how premium this model is. And you know, it is a lot of money for what the model is, but you are, this is like buying the Rolls Royce of trains. This is just incredible. Anyway, going on the front, we've got some more details picked out. We've got separately fitted handles just here. You've got the little access to be able to see for the coal load. You've got your back part of your kinematic coupling, sorry, not them coupling, to join the Loco and the tender, which is fantastic. Again, on the other side, you've got your separately fitted handles. This is full metal, the whole thing. You've got your plastic running rods, running rods, which have been pre-fitted for you. These can sometimes be fiddly, so hey, I'm definitely made up that these are fitted. And you turn it over, you've got a fantastic looking coal load there. Great detail from the top of the water tank. And then at the back, we have got springy buffers because, hey, some people like them. And then you've got a great amount of separately fitted parts on the back with all the handles, your lamp irons, you've got your vacuum pipe here, and then you've got that wonderfully fitted rear coupling with that great amount of articulation behind it. Now let's pop these two together, and oh sorry, before I do that, let's look at underneath. Now I had one of these from well, not one of these, a different version of this, and they had a pickup system like this in it, and on that one, one of the wheels, it was rubbing slightly, but this one is absolutely fantastically smooth the way it's been done. It's not grabbing at all. These are free running, even though you've got the pressure on the wheels, they are free running very, very nicely. And you can see there how much that Loco is freewheeling. Loco Tender was freewheeling, and yeah, it doesn't do anything to impede it. With the fitting, as always with these models, and as you can see here, you've even got an extra little stub underneath, just a bit of extra security when it's locating. Again, I absolutely love this, and I really want to show you how easy it is to put this together, and then what the whole thing looks like. Nice and gentle. There we go. So your Loco is fitted together, as you can see there underneath. If I do that, there you go, that little back bit was just getting in the way. But yeah, that is fitted in wonderfully nice and close together, and you can see there it's so close fitting. It's really, really nice. You've got that great amount of articulation with the way it swings, and look at how that rear baseboard plate just catches, well you know, it just covers fantastic. And then again with the rear canopy, this is just absolutely incredible. And I'm not biased in my videos towards any manufacturer. You know, I definitely try not to be, but I do love what Dapol do with the Locos. They do seem to put, you know, just like any other manufacturer, I suppose, they do put so much time and effort into them, and especially with something like this, it really, really does show. And yeah, a huge thank you to Dapol for just designing such an incredible Loco for us to own. Right, so just turn the lights off for a second. Here she is on the rolling road. So let's just press the function to turn those lights on. As you can see there, you've got two working lights at the front. And let's turn our light back on. There we go. So you can see this running. Now, a really cool thing with this is that the smoke is blown from a little fan on the inside, and to get that working with all the chuffs and everything is just incredible. So let's just, for now, let's just turn the sound on. Now, this sounds loud enough for me, so I'm not sure how loud it'll sound for you. I'm hoping it's okay. When I first got this was loud. It was a little too loud for my liking, but the way that it was actually shows the quality of the speakers what are in this, because they weren't reverbing, they weren't vibrating around or anything like that. And the sound quality with how loud it was absolutely impeccable. So a little tip, and I'll pop it in a little caption somewhere on the screen, is if you go to because I'm just using a select here because the other controller's on the track. If you go for CV266, so that's CV266, and you change the property on that between 0 and 50, that's the volume for your train, so you can turn it down so it's a bit more, you know, if it's in a smaller space, you know, it's a bit quieter, or if it's a bit louder, if say you're at an exhibition or something, which, I mean, if you're in an exhibition, why would you not want to run one of these? So it is fantastic in that term, in that way. So yeah, so I've turned this down to 15. So for me, that's a nice volume, should I say? And yeah, absolutely fantastic. So what I will do, let's just show you a couple of the sounds. You've got a very short whistle. If you hear at the end of that, sounds like there is a very slight echo to that sound, to that whistle, and it's absolutely, it really does give it that little bit extra. It's fantastic. So let's try another whistle. There we go. So you just got a little short little toot toot there, and then we have got medium length whistle, which is fantastic. Your coal shoveling. Now when the coal shoveling is on, as it's running round, you can just, there you go, you can see it there. That is when, in fact, let me zoom in, that is when the firebox glow is activated. Now I think this is a great little thing, because obviously when the shoveling the coal in, that's when the box door is open. After that they then close it to keep the temperature in. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. So let's just turn that off for now. There we go. And it flickers away really, really nicely. And the great thing about this as well is that when it's actually sitting just like this, you'll hear like a bit of a blow off valve every now and again, like that. You'll hear a couple of other little noises, and it really just gives it that just brilliant little, so much extra. It's really fantastic. So let's have a look at how slow this will move, because it's got a 5-pole motor with a flywheel, and let's have a little look. Look at that. Let's see, can I turn it down more? That, you can go a bit further. There you go, look at that. You can just about, if I get a little paintbrush, if I hold that paintbrush there, you can just about see that wheel is turning. Absolutely incredible this is for running. It is, this is like everything you could want from a model, and it really does go to show why it deserves the Black Label name. So let's just speed this up a little so we can hear it changing. And also, if you crank the speed up on this like right away, it's got a brilliant smooth action to speeding up. And you've got a wonderful free sounding movement. And a lot of models, you don't get that when you turn it off, and you know, you've got kind of just like the air moving in the piston. It normally goes silent until it does that brake squeal when it stops. With this one, it does that great little sound, and it makes it just so much more realistic. Now, let's do the good bit. Let's turn on the smoke. So, this, if you want smoke, you're gonna get smoke. Let's turn this up. Oh, look at that. Look at all that. Let's pop the box behind it. Look at the amount. No, that's not doing it justice. Hang on. Ah, I know what to do. I know what to use. There we go. Let me do that. Look at the amount of smoke that's coming out of there. Look at that. It's fantastic. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Let me see if I can super professionally, because hey, you know what I like here. There we go. Let's get this really going. And there you go, when you've knocked it off. Brilliant. Now you can have this run with the smoke without the sound on, so let's turn the sound off. And I'm going to bring it closer because, like I said, I love how clever this is. If I do this, you should be able to hear that fan making the smoke work. So I'll just stay quiet. Very quiet. I'm not sure if you can hear that. But yeah, so hopefully you guys were able to hear that. But yeah, it's so good how that's done. Obviously you've got your permanent heat coming through from the generator as it starts to move. You've got the fan running in perfect synchronization with the wheels. So I'll just turn the sound back on. See, just coming through. There we go. Now, I do admit, I love the fact that the Hornby one is water. But if I turn this loco around, see, you've got the bits of smoke just hanging around the top from where it's come out. You wouldn't get that with the water vapour. So this is a fantastic and wonderful, wonderful system the way it's been done. Yes, it's got the oil. I understand people's reservations sometimes with the oil because it can leave a residue on the train, on the track, but the way this is done is just fantastic. And yeah, it's brilliant. So just a brief instruction on the oil. Now I actually think it may be due a little bit of a top up because I've used this for a good 5 or 10 minutes, and what it says is when you first get this to pop 10 drops in, as it's a, I would like to think of it as a wet system. It's been purged already, tested, you know, before it comes out, so it should smoke straight away out the box. But again, what they say is you put 10 drops in and that'll give you a good go to get it started, and then as you see the smoke gradually start to die off a little, then all you need to do is to just put about 5 or 6 drops more in, and then all that wonderful billowing smoke will come out. So let's just see, because they do say when it's starting to look a bit wispy, because obviously this is heat and there is a warning: you do not want to let this run dry. Unlike the water one, where it's done with a like water mister diffuser, because of the heat in this, if you try to run it without, you will just burn the elements out and excuse me, sorry, you will destroy the mechanism, and you really don't want to do that. So just bear with me 1 second. And so here are your little bottles, what you get. You've got your smoke, and then you've got your low odor smoke. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is, to be fair. But as you can see, you do get quite a lot with these, so you've got plenty of running. Now, I will check, and I would like to assume that what I'm about to say is right, but I think that if you do run out of these, I mean, obviously it's recommended to use Dapol smoke oil, but if you have your sooth generators, then I'm quite sure, because it's still smoke oil, I'm sure that this will be fine with that as well. But like I said, don't quote me on that just yet. I will check that in time. So the Loco, in fact, what I'll do, let me do this properly. Right, so as recommended, I've completely turned the Loco off, as obviously I don't want to damage this. Carefully place that there, and it says as it starts to go wispy, you know, just as a top up, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there we go. Because that looked a little on the wispy side. Just take that out very gently. Yeah, I know I'm holding this weird, but I'm just, you know, trying to show you guys on camera. So let's turn the controller back on to give it power again. Let's turn our smoke on, turn our sound on, and let's see what she's like now. There you go. You see there's an awful lot more coming out of there, which is brilliant. Let's give it the beans. Let's see that smoke properly coming out. So that's up to half power. Fantastic. So let's turn all that off. And look at that, you've got that wonderful wisp coming out of the top of the chimney. Fantastic. So let's turn all that off. Brilliant. Now, let's get this running down on the layout. And one thing I will say, it does say if you're running this with smoke for a while, obviously because of the heat, the body may get hot, so be careful. Now obviously this has been shut off for a minute now. If I do that, you can see the little bit of the residue, what I was on about. But again, as long as you keep everything nice and clean, you won't have a problem with this whatsoever. So let's get this down onto the layout, and let's have a look at this running. So I hope you've enjoyed this bit of a running session. I just noticed the smoke started to go a little bit on it, so let's just bring it up here with the last little bit. There we go. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant locomotive. And one thing as well that I did read on the or in the manual to go with this, and it's that not only obviously you have the smoke with it, but also it says that the smoke actually adjusts itself with the way that the train's moving. This is absolutely blooming fantastic. And hang on a second, let me just change this round. Yeah, this is an absolute fantastic locomotive, a great addition to a layout. Yes, it is a lot of money, however you're getting a lot of money with what you pay for this. I am going to do a comparison, this one to the Hornby steam generator. I might do that in another video. This one, with the oil what you put in it, does have a bit of a steam engine-y, like Heritage Railway type smell, which is absolutely brilliant, and I love that. It's fantastic that you get that to go with it. Obviously, the oil doesn't last as long compared to the water, because that's quite a large tank, and obviously with the mister and how it does it, that does last a lot longer than this. I think about 5 or 10 minutes running with this at best, something like that, and then you need to stop it, fill it up, give it a minute for it to kind of get to where it needs to, and then you can restart it again. So the Hornby one, you kind of fill it up where you go again, sort of thing. But the effect that you get with this one, where it like lingers around like it would do, is absolutely wonderful. The only one with the Hornby smoke generator with this one is that because this is heat and the Hornby one's cold, so I would say that's a little better for safety and just the running time. Like I said, the Hornby one does run for a lot longer. However, with the Hornby ones, this has got a single chimney stack on it. The Hornby ones with the single chimney stack, you do have to keep like a bit of tissue or a cotton wool bud, because depending on where the diffuser is and how the smoke goes out, it condenses inside the chimney and it does block it. So while that one, the smoke mechanism won't come to any harm, because it's cold water. It was, if this one runs dry, obviously it's heat, you would burn the element out. This one, you don't have that problem with at all. So, and the idea with this, with the little fan inside, which is blowing the smoke to get the chuffs along, it's just absolutely out. It's just fantastic the way it's been done. So, the pros and cons, I can't pick one out of the two which I prefer, because I like them both. I like the way the Hornby one is, but I like the way this one is, because to me this is a bit more realistic. Well, it's a lot more realistic. So yeah, it's one of them. I have no personal preference. If Dapol were to bring out loads of other models with this system fitted, absolutely fantastic. I would love to collect them, like I've done with the Hornby ones. I've got one of each type of engine, what they've done, because the Black 5 is yet to be reviewed, spoiler alert. But yeah, this is just a fantastic locomotive. You pay premium price, but in return you get a very, very premium model. Yeah, if one of these is within your budget, it's a fantastic locomotive to get. It runs like a dream. It's so smooth. When you turn everything off, the sound and what have you, it's so quiet. If you've got it on a low speed, you can't hear the motor, you can't hear the train running. It's that smooth and quiet. It's just, well, like Dapol's other stuff, in my experience, just incredible. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this review. If it's, again, if it's within your price range, this is a fantastic locomotive to add to your collection. You definitely won't be disappointed. And yeah, there we go. So I think that's it. So again, like I said, I try to remain completely non-biased when I do reviews and things like that, because I love every loco what I get. But I do admit, Dapol do produce a very, very good product. So with that being said, I hope you... I nearly got me outro wrong. With that being said, thumbs up, like and subscribe if you would. That'd be absolutely fantastic if you could do that. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video, and as always, we shall see you in the next video.